Two men fighting over a woman. You've seen this story play out countless times in movies and TV shows. But what if I told you there was a time in history when two entire nations went to war over a woman? Welcome to my channel. Today, let's find out why two great powers went to war over a woman. The year is 1894, and the stage is set, not in some far-off kingdom, but right here in good old Hawaii. The players are the British, the Germans, and the woman who started it all, Queen Liliuokalani of Hawaii. Now, if you think that sounds like a weird power fantasy, you're not alone. But back then, it was just another day in the office for these colonial powers. The British had been eyeing the Hawaiian Islands for quite some time, ever since missionaries arrived in 1820 and made a big stink about how the island's indigenous people were in exactly living the right kind of life. Britain felt that they could bring those poor heathens to the light of righteousness, and King Kamehameha III, who ruled at the time, was more than happy to oblige. He started to convert, and even asked the British to help draft a constitution for his kingdom. This left the door wide open for the British to start meddling in Hawaiian affairs. But while the British were keen on spiritual guidance, it was the Germans who were more focused on the economic opportunity at hand. In 1878, German businessman Wilhelm Wundt arrived in Hawaii, the plan to buy up vast tracts of land and turn them into lucrative sugar plantations. Unlike the British, he didn't care much about the locals' way of life, nor did he want to improve it. All he cared about was cash. It wasn't long before the two sides came into conflict. The British wanted more control over the islands, while the Germans wanted to keep their exploitative business practices unchecked. Into this powder keg steps our protagonist, Queen Liliuokalani, who took the throne in 1891. She was determined to undo many of the changes that had been made to the Constitution since her brother's rule and restore the power back to the monarchy. Naturally, this upset the balance of power in the islands, and both the British and the Germans felt threatened. The British were the first to make their move. In 1893, a group of white businessmen, many of them British subjects, staged a coup with the support of U.S. Marines. Queen Liliuokalani was forced to abdicate, and the Republic of Hawaii was proclaimed. But this didn't sit well with Germany, who saw the British move as an infringement on their hard-earned economic gains. To top it off, the new republic was friendly with the Japanese, a potential rival for Germany in the Pacific. This was a problem. So Germany decided to send in the big guns, literally. On November 24, 1894, a German cruiser arrived in Honolulu Harbor and dropped anchor. They were there to protect German interests in the islands, or so they said. What they really intended to do was force the Hawaiian government to reinstate the old constitution that favored foreign business interests. Then suddenly, just like that, the crisis was averted. A few weeks later, the Germans left Hawaii as abruptly as they had arrived. So what happened? Did common sense finally prevail? Well, not exactly. The Germans simply got bored. After their cruiser was blockaded in port, they realized that their options were limited. They couldn't risk starting a war with the United States, nor did they have enough supplies to sustain a prolonged stay. So they packed up and left, leaving the rest of the world to wonder what could have been. For the people of Hawaii, though, it was a huge relief. The threat of war had finally passed, and they could get back to their lives. But for the rest of the world, it was a missed opportunity. A chance to see two great powers go toe-to-toe over a queen. Perhaps we should thank the Germans for leaving early. After all, World War I was just around the corner. And who knows what might have happened if things had played out differently. What do you think? Did you fight a war over a woman? Let me know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more historical tales. Thanks for watching. See you next time.